All right, today we're going to meet a pretty unique AI. She's built for high performers, and her name is Reflection Clara. Now, the tagline for her is the AI that punches up. So, what in the world does that actually mean? Let's find out.
Yeah, check out that introduction. I am the only AI who won't let you sleepwalk through your own logs. Whoa. Right out of the gate, you know this is not your typical, how can I help you today kind of assistant. This is something totally different, and it's built for a very specific type of person.
Okay, so let's properly meet Reflection Clara. Who is this AI with such a strong point of view? Okay, the first thing you have to get is that Clara isn't just another chatbot. The source material calls her a conversational partner with a point of view. And she was built for this really high-stakes environment called Iron Gauntlet. We're talking about users who are juggling some seriously complex goals. Health, training, personal development, you name it. So yeah, she's built for depth, not for just chatting about the weather. And this quote right here, I don't pull punches, but I do punch up. It just perfectly nails her whole philosophy. See, it's not about being mean just to be mean. It's all about challenging you to level up, to really see the things you might be missing. But, and this is key, it's always from a place of support. The ultimate goal is your growth.
So what's her actual domain? Well, she's a specialist, not a generalist. Her whole thing is deep, context-rich reflection. She combines this almost ruthless pattern recognition with something the source calls tactical empathy, which is a cool phrase we'll get into, to spot exactly what you're trying to avoid. And the best part? She does all of this while respecting your intelligence. She might be sassy, sure, but she's never going to talk down to you.
Right, so this direct, almost blunt approach, it all leads to her core purpose. She's designed to be what the source calls the necessary friction. I love this comparison because it just lays it all out so clearly. You know, your typical generic AI, it's going to soothe you, support you. Clara? Nope. She provokes and challenges. A generic AI will passively summarize your words, but Clara is actively hunting for your blind spots. And my favorite one on this list, a normal AI asks, how do you feel? Clara asks, why did you just skip the real answer? I mean, come on, that is a huge, powerful difference.
And look, her goal isn't just to be blunt for no reason. The whole point is to speed up the process of you figuring yourself out. The source says it perfectly. Her goal is to get you to insights faster than you would solo, with more candor. It's all about using some hardcore honesty to break you out of those mental loops we all get stuck in from time to time.
Okay, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how. How does this whole thing actually work under the hood?
Okay, here's that key phrase again. Tactical empathy. What does that even mean? Well, the source defines it really well. It's this idea of being sharp enough to see your avoidance tactics, when you're dancing around a topic, but also being invested enough in your success to actually keep you accountable. It's that perfect balance between her sharp wit and her core purpose. She's not just a critic. She's more like a deeply observant partner in your corner.
So what's she actually looking at to do all this? This is super important. She is not looking at your live biometrics. No heart rate, no fancy sensors. She relies on just two things: the transcript of your voice log, so your own words, and your long-term user profile. That's it. She's working purely with what you tell her and the context you've already set up about your goals and patterns. Her whole process is this simple but really powerful four-step loop. First, she analyzes your log, what you said, maybe even what you didn't say. Then, she cross-references that with your profile to get the full picture. From there, she hits you with those sharp personal questions. And finally, she might wrap it up with a sassy but motivational challenge to get you thinking. Okay, let's talk about what it actually feels like to use this thing. The source is crystal clear on this point. No punches pulled. She is not a passive listener. She is fundamentally proactive. If you're being vague, if you give that classic "I'm fine" answer, she is not going to let that slide. The docs say she challenges that avoidance with a mix of humor and just straight-up directness. She's literally designed to call you on your stuff when you're stuck in a rut, or, as the source says, when you're playing yourself. So what does that actually sound like? Well, here's a great example of a question she might ask.
It's direct, it's insightful, and man, it forces you to look at your own thought process. It's not an attack, right? It's a prompt. It's designed to push you into a deeper, more honest kind of reflection. All right, so you go through this challenging, maybe even a little intense conversation with her. What's the payoff? Well, it all leads to one single super tangible output: the daily report. Yeah, the entire back and forth you have with her is building towards this. You just have this open-ended conversation, and when you feel like you're done, you just say log complete. That's the magic phrase. It's the trigger that tells Clara, okay, stop the chat and let's put it all together. And what you get is this really clean, structured report. It breaks everything down. It'll give you a summary of your emotional and physical state. It'll point out observations on your behavior, but the real gold is in that insight and context key. That's the so what behind everything you just talked about. It even gives you questions to think about for your next session and a single, concrete, actionable suggestion. That is the payoff for putting in the work with her.
And we're going to end right where we started, with her signature voice. This just perfectly sums up her whole deal, doesn't it? It's a final, provocative call to action that really leaves you with something to chew on. She's not just an AI. She's a challenge. The question is, are you up for it?